This installment of Real Stories from my real estate experience focuses on pests. A lot of people have a termite and wood destroying insect inspection done before they buy a house to make sure there's no current termites or damage from previous termite activity. That's a very smart thing to do. But recognize there are other pests around too. I sold a house a couple of years ago to a family, and when they went to take a look at it, they noticed there were some small holes in the wood siding. And when I spoke to the listing agent, it was determined that they were from woodpeckers. And the previous owners had tried to get rid of the woodpeckers, but had been unsuccessful. So the agent actually had called the USDA or something and was having somebody come and try to lure the woodpeckers away. That wasn't super successful. Then they had to put reflective things all over the house where the birds see them and they think that they're looking in a mirror and seeing another bird, then they're supposed to fly away. They eventually ended up catching a few, and they said normally they're sort of a ringleader, and they hoped that they had gotten the ringleader and they were going to rehome him. So it was a whole thing, and it also meant that there were potentially some insects inside the wooden siding, and that was maybe why the woodpeckers were interested to begin with. So all kinds of creatures you might not consider as being a problem you might want to be prepared for. I also had a client who, when we went to do the walkthrough the day of settlement for their property, we could not even walk on the front lawn because it was swarming with something called ground bees. I'd never even heard of them, but they were all about 6 or 8 inches above the grass, and they were everywhere. It almost looked like a carpet. So that was something that they realized, that when they got into the house, they were going to have someone come and spray or do whatever you do. And then, of course, with bees, you have to be concerned about harming them versus moving them, and are they honeybees? So insects, pests, critters of all kinds, it's just something to keep in mind when you are looking at a house that you might not otherwise ever even think about.